Hi everyone, thank you so much. I'm Jessica Gordon and this is Allison Bischoff, and we are the founders of Rozzy Learning Company. As a former teacher, I often struggle to teach my students about STEM and STEAM and our careers like an engineer or architect. I wanted to prepare my students for the 21st century workforce, but I didn't know how to do so. So, along with Allison, we started Rozzy Learning Company. Rozzy is an educational company that designs STEAM programs and resources for teachers, for students in pre-kindergarten through 3rd grade. We are so excited to be here and share what we've been doing. We incorporated about 11 months ago and really started selling and working with schools about 6 months ago. To date, in the past 6 months, we've generated $50,000 in revenue and are now cash flow positive. And we currently work with over 300 teachers impacting 2,000 students across the United States in about 11 different states so far. In terms of the team, Allison and I are holding down the ship right now. We are both committed entrepreneurs. We both quit our full-time jobs to launch Rozzy and invested $40,000 of our own money up front to get the business going. We're also experienced researchers. Both of our backgrounds are in educational psychology, neuroscience, and other educational topics. We've published in a broad range of educational journals. And additionally, we're curriculum experts. We both worked for education software companies designing different programs and curricula. So we're definitely well-versed in this field in terms of creating educational products.
So STEAM or STEM is a really hot topic right now in education, but there's a lot of barriers to schools actually purchasing these programs and integrating them into their classrooms. So STEAM products are often very expensive. Most programs are between $150 to $300 a student, which is extremely prohibitive for schools. We've talked to hundreds of educators and only about, I would say, 5 people we talked to are actually have our competitors in their schools. So there's a real market that's open right now. Also, STEAM products are really complicated to use, so a lot of programs have all these really expensive kits and technologies that are required for their programs, and so teachers often just throw their hands up and say, this is a waste of time, I don't feel like doing this. And then lastly, in terms of content, a lot of STEAM programs focus on more abstract concepts, and so kids aren't really learning how to use STEAM in a real world setting. And so there's a real gap in why are we learning STEAM and why is it important for later in my life. So we positioned Rozzy to be an alternative solution for schools to purchase. So we create affordable, easy to use, yet innovative programs for schools. Our products are always affordable, so we've got the cost down to more like $30 a student, and we don't require a lot of expensive technology. We like to say STEAM can be done using recyclable materials or materials you already have in your classroom. And then, as I said, our materials are really easy to use, so it's very easy for teachers to actually implement our programs in their classrooms rather than these STEAM programs just staying in a box in the closet. And so schools are more likely to repurchase products because they know their teachers are actually using it. And then finally, what really differentiates us from our competitors in terms of our content is that we focus on 21st century STEAM careers. So kids are getting authentic learning experiences, and teachers really want this in their classrooms because right now kids don't really know what to do. Like, why is it important that a ball is rolling down a ramp, or that we're building a structure? And so integrating real world problems is something that is really important to us. So currently we have 3 main product lines. Our first is our Discovering STEAM Careers program for schools, which is a supplemental STEAM program that they can seamlessly implement into their curriculum. We also do teacher training and workshop and events, and so this helps empower the teachers to feel comfortable and confident teaching STEAM, because often teachers feel like it's something that they weren't good at in school, so they don't want to implement it to their own students. And then we also have a children's book, Maggie the Magnifying Glass, which introduces young kids to STEAM. And so here's a chart of our the competitive landscape right now. So as you can see, we're really filling in gaps that other companies aren't targeting. So we target early childhood, so we start in preschool as young as 2 years old. And we also go up right now to 3rd grade, and we plan to expand up into middle school. We also don't require expensive technology kits, so any school across the country can implement this. It isn't just for those expensive private schools. And then we also focus on the careers, and then we really have made ourselves a niche market. So we work also with homeschools, religious schools, and private schools and after-school programs. And a lot of STEAM resources are really only appropriate in a public school setting or a private school setting, which really limits the reach that our competitors have.
So in terms of our business model, we have 2 main components. So one revenue stream relates to our annual subscription. So schools purchase annual subscriptions for our programs. And the second is one-time purchases that relate to events and professional development workshops. In terms of our traction, we've been selling for about 6 months. We are cash flow positive. As I mentioned, we're working with students and teachers around the country. We've also partnered with one national organization and 3 St. Louis-based organizations to really get the word out there and start expanding for our programs. And we also have meetings coming up with some large public schools in St. Louis. In terms of looking forward, we're looking to diversify our revenue streams by expanding our product line to reach more age groups and have more offerings available for teachers. We also will be digitalizing all of our workshops and trainings so that instead of going in person, teachers and schools can download trainings online, making it more affordable for them and allowing us to expand. And we also will be expanding our sales and distribution model as our company continues to grow, considering we are only 6 months in so far. Thank you.
No, that's great. I wasn't paying attention. It was my fault. Okay, questions, please. All right. Ooh, lost the back of my mic.
Thank you. I was interested in knowing what metrics you had or you've developed or planning to develop that will allow the user, the institution, students, teachers to know that what you're offering is really working for them.
So we both have backgrounds in psychology, and so we are quite versed in making our own metrics. So right now we're developing 2 types of metrics. One that tracks students' perceptions, so students' understanding of STEAM at these ages, and the other is teacher perceptions, their perceived value of teaching about STEAM, how helpful the products are, how their teaching has changed over time. So we're currently in the process of developing different metrics. It takes time, especially in early childhood, where a lot of assessments and evaluations they're not so reliable because children are very young, so it takes time to develop the metrics. Right now, we just do pre and post testing and surveys to track perceptions over time. So we test teachers, we give them a test or a survey before and after a training, and then we evaluate their knowledge and content.
Where do you fall in your market space? Like, are you early innovators in this market space, or do you have well-developed competitors? Where do you fall in your market space?
I would say we are early in terms of younger grade levels, which there's almost no preschool programs out there, and early in terms of careers, because there's no other programs on the market that focus on careers. STEAM programs are more established in general. There are some, however, we're defining a different market space. So there is traction in the market already for STEAM programs, and there is interest, but we're carving out a different market to target.
Other questions? Here's a quiet one.
For
Okay.
feedback.
We don't want feedback. Oh, sorry. So you said you're moving to digital. Where are you on that path? Are you seeing subscription online courses, or is it more instructor support?
Sure. So right now our program is online, so that's how teachers access it. But in terms of our growing, we really want to create digital webinars or video trainings to teach our curriculum, and that is something that we currently do not have the capital to do. So that's something that we are looking forward to either through investment or once we get a little more profit to start implementing that, because that will cost a lot of money. But we will create our own portal so that teachers can log in and have the more interactive experience. And something we've also been talking about is creating a certification program for STEAM, especially for preschool, because right now one of our competitors does have a certification, but it's not for the younger grades. And so we would love to integrate into our online series to create a certification program along with that, because teachers in schools are always looking for ways to say why they're different, why should parents come to them versus another school. And so it makes teachers more competitive in terms of their resumes, and it also makes schools more competitive.
Can you guys talk a little bit more about your products? Like, what does it actually look like when a child is using what you have?
Sure. Well, if anyone has little kids, we have our children's books if you want to check these out. So we started with our children's book, which focuses on introducing STEAM careers and scientific tools and thinking to kids, and then we interweave this into our program. So teachers get our curriculum online, which comes with a lesson plan with about 5 to 6 activities. It comes with journal pages for the kids to practice writing and brainstorming and drawing, and then it comes with YouTube links so that they can actually see what these professionals in these careers are doing. And so teachers can pick and choose what activities they do. And like I said, most of our activities only require really simple materials. So often building materials, art supplies, blocks, things like that. And it allows the kids to get really creative with their materials.
So another thing to add is that our program includes 10 modules to be a year-long program, and we focus on a broad range of careers from urban planners to marine biologists. Yes, 3-year-olds do learn about urban planning, and they can. And anywhere also from a transportation engineer to an eco-friendly architect. We teach it all.
I've seen several of the large corporations put out STEAM projects as part of their marketing strategy through social media as a free option. How has that affected your business model?
We haven't seen it overlap at all. A lot of the free resources are not often well developed. They're not piloted well, and they're not really a comprehensive program. So we really pride ourselves in working directly with teachers through having this comprehensive research-based program. We actually do get a lot of grants from these large corporations now who are using our program. So we just did a teacher training that Boeing sponsored. So that's kind of now how we're utilizing corporations, is that they buy from us.
And we also offer free resources too. So that's one way that we really like to get teachers on board, is that you don't just purchase our program and then we leave you. Like, we provide you with the follow-up and things that you can do beyond just our program. And because a lot of teachers say, I was just thrown this kit and then I don't really know what to do with it, or what do I do next? So we really want to be that all-encompassing company for them.
Hi,
Hello.
Sean Brady, Medici Media Space. So you mentioned you're seeking sales and profits or looking for an investment. What's that number, and what would you want to do with it?
Sure. So we think in order to fully digitalize all of our programs and to create a portal for our certification program, it would probably take between $50,000 and $60,000, and it would probably take about a year and a half to really pilot and get it integrated into our company. So I think that's kind of the number that we're at, but that was a very new idea, so we still need to do more research into it, but that's kind of the number we have in mind.
We also develop products directly that customers ask for. So over the past, I would say, 4 to 5 months, everyone's asking for the certification program. So we're really big on when we want to make sure that the products are going to be well utilized. And a bunch of professors from a training program asked us if we have a certification program. So this is now the kind of a new revenue stream for us that we're looking to pursue and really get up and running in the next year and a half.
What does the customer service look like for this type of market? And I'm getting at, like, if you had a staff of 50, would you be able to manage the Midwest, or with the staff of 50, are you only expanding to Jefferson City? Like, what does the customer service look like?
Sure. In terms of customer service, right now we're fine managing our clients on our own. We have a few contract workers that help us. As we continue to expand, we'll probably have one account manager per region that handles in field calls, questions, text messages. I mean, the teachers contact us in whatever way they want, which is fine. We love doing that. One nice thing also is they're able to submit questions through the portal also to ask. We're very hands-on with our users. So we send out free resources. They interact with us via Facebook and Twitter. So we use social media a lot. Also, we do quarterly check-ins with all of our teachers. So we use a CRM system for that. So teachers are never left behind. We pretty much know what all 300 teachers, we almost know what everyone's doing right now and how their progress is being made. So that's a huge element for our company. As we expand, we'll formalize the process more. So we have account managers in different regions. Everyone will know the system that everyone is taking care of.
That's pretty much my question. You answered it. So.
Great.
We wait long enough. Any
Other questions or other questions?
Well, I guess,
Yep. All right.
so the $30 per student, is that per quarter, per session?
Per year. These are annual subscriptions. However, we usually have a base amount, and then schools also pay for training and other resources. There are lots of add-ons that they can purchase. But we have our cost. We really only have one fixed cost, which is this online portal, because everything is online. So it's not like they need to buy all these different kits from us and our margins go down, but they're just buying the program from us, which is a very profitable.
How do you balance producing media and managing business?
Sure, so right now we've really taken on different roles. So in terms of media, do you mean like the products?
Content.
Oh, so content.
Sure.
Sure. So Jessica really is the expert content generator, so she creates everything. We've gotten really, really fast. We actually worked for a company and created 3 programs for them, and we were able to do that in about 8 months. So we really refined our process. So she creates content, and then I do all of the graphic design work for it, and then I manage
Everything else.
I manage mostly everything
She
else.
does everything else.
But we're almost out of content debt, as we like to say. So we have to just finish a couple things on 2 of our grade level programs, and then we'll be kind of good to go in terms of that kind of content for the next year, except for creating our new ideas.
We do sell some programs before we make them on ideas, so that's why we have some programs, a couple things specific things that clients want in terms of custom projects. But other than that, because we work for an educational software company, we have a whole process we use in terms of management, working with other contract workers as we manage other people. And when we worked for the software company, I mean, we developed probably 1,000 lessons in 8 months, so we're quite fast.
Okay. And then I have a question.
What is the ideal behind having publishers publish books as opposed to digitizing a lot of this, since I have young grandkids that are age 4, 3, and 4, and they're using iPads and Surface and things like that.
That's a great question. So that is why we're looking to digitalize part of our program. However, books are books. Families love having books, teachers love having books, and kids love books. And it's really important for children to be able to read the book themselves. So the books have been a popular source in terms of revenue generating, and it's incorporated into our program. So when you buy the program, you have to buy the book because the book is needed in part of the program. Would you say that's a fair answer?
Yeah.
I'm curious if you have worked all or talked about working with the universities and their teacher training and how to integrate, like how to
Yes.
train a teacher differently as a mother of a early childhood major right now? And, there's just, it's interesting how that whole approach has changed. And
Yes, this is a big thing we are currently working on in terms of expansion for our company, is working with teacher training programs. So we just finished our first large development series with a community college. We provide teachers with specific tools as part of our training. So planning tools, how to incorporate STEM and STEAM into their classroom, not using technology. So we have some of the sample tools available here, but during our workshop, teachers get all of these tools. We actually just got back a survey that 95% of the teachers who completed our training strongly agreed that it helped them and that they would want to use us again, and they listed all these other topics they want us to come to.
we have one more question.
With a lower average price per student, do you see more interest in, like, say, public schools versus private schools, where the private schools might be more willing to, shell out $100 per student, or do you not see a difference, or just kind of?
So that's actually really interesting. So some private schools are willing to shell out a lot, but a lot of private schools do not. So a lot of private schools will hire teachers that are experts in something and market that as we are a STEM expert school, but they actually aren't investing a lot into programs. So like I said, we've only talked to one private school who had one of our competitors. So in terms of private schools, actually having a lower price point is better because they are relying on money from their parents, their tuition, from benefactors, whereas the public schools are actually where there is more money for these types of things. There's also certain funds that are set aside for programs like this. But again, when you're at $200 a student, that's still like a hard sell. So we are trying to price where we're competitive for both markets.
All right, well, thank you so much. This is great. Additional questions, you can catch them by the coffee, because I think we still have 8 pots to go through. So get to drinking coffee.